what is the essence of going for a ball-playing goalkeeper? That's where my confusion is, because a ball-playing goalkeeper suggests that you want to dominate possession. Hello and welcome, my name is Daniel Cranton. This is my YouTube channel. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Subscribe. Like the video, share the content, and leave a comment in the comment section. Very important for me, because I also love to hear your opinions. Let's go. So it looks like in the coming days, Man United will complete the signing of Onana, a goalkeeper from Inter Milan. The fees yet to be confirmed, but it looks like it's heading in a positive direction for Manchester United. And let me start by saying I think it's a top signing. I think it's a very good signing. Again, he's a player that Erik ten Hag has worked with at Ajax. He's one of the best ball-playing goalkeepers in the world as it stands. We saw his brilliant performances for Inter Milan during last season's Champions League. From a ball-playing point of view, and also from a strictly goalkeeping point of view, in terms of the saves that he made, the clean sheets that he kept. Super goalkeeper in that regard. And it makes perfect sense for Manchester United to go for a player like him. Now, remember how Ten Hag's tenure at Man United started. Pre-season, it looked like he was molding his team to replicate what he was doing, or the principles that he kept at Ajax. The season started, first 2 games, it didn't work, and then he goes back to basics. Basically, Man United surviving game by game, not necessarily playing in his possession-centered attacking style football. And that was basically because he didn't have the squad of players to be able to play that sort of football. So it would take gradual efforts in terms of bringing players slowly in who understand that system, who can play that system. He started with Lisandro Martinez, fantastic ball-playing centre-back. Anthony has come in. We've seen Casemiro, who came in, who I don't think is, and I'll get there, I don't think Casemiro is in the mood of the players that Erik ten Hag will love to use in that particular system. But again, Onana is coming in, and it solves a problem Man United had. We saw David De Gea last season have a lot of touches of the ball, meaning that Man United were being forced back, they were going back to their keeper. And when that happens, you need a goalkeeper who is comfortable in possession, who can retain the ball and retain possession. So with Onana coming in, he offers that. And of course, when it comes to his shot stopping ability, I don't think he's up to the level of David De Gea, but he's very good, and he's very good enough for to be considered a top goalkeeper. So I absolutely love that. You also look at the Mason Mount signing, which also makes sense for Man United. But I'll get to the part that confuses me a bit. It makes sense because look, when you look at Mason Mount and you look at his off-the-ball attributes and his off-the-ball numbers and stats in terms of his pressing ability, it is very essential for an Erik ten Hag system, a team that is ready to quickly press and win back the ball after losing possession. So he's a player who is that sort of asset when it comes to that aspect of football. But this is where my confusion is, and hear my argument out. Okay, we saw Man United last season with an average possession of about 55% possession. This doesn't speak of a team that is possession-centered. Possession-centered teams usually from 58% through to 60% and upwards. But Man United seemingly like to trade possession. They are not a team that will go into a game knowing they are going to dominate the ball. And that was largely due to the players they had, and especially the players in the middle of the park. So you look at Casemiro, who over his period has not necessarily been that defensive conductor in terms of keeping the ball, possession, recycling possession. So you can't compare Casemiro's style of defensive midfield to somebody like Rodri and the Thomas Partey's and the Jorginhos and the Sergio Busquets. He's more of your typical combative old school style defensive midfielder, which also works. And that's the reason why at the start of last season, in fact last season, if you look at the first half of last season when Eriksen was fit and kicking, he was dropping deep to sort of be that conductor. Casemiro was around to like clean up the mess in terms of loose balls and stuff like that. So that in itself becomes sort of a problem, because if Eriksen is not going to, and it looks like from the tail end of last season, looks like he's on his last legs, if he's not going to play as much of a role in that Man United midfield, you look at the inclusion of Mason Mount. Now, when you have Mason Mount, you have Casemiro, and you have Bruno Fernandes occupying that midfield for your team, it doesn't necessarily speak of a team that is comfortable in keeping the ball. These guys make very quick and rash decisions, like Bruno Fernandes loses the ball a lot. Mason Mount can be in that, you can classify him in that category. He's not the sort of midfielder who is comfortable holding possession and can pass it around and move. Yes, in the right system, he can function. Again, I'm talking about his main strengths in that sort of system is off the ball. But if you don't have that conductor in your team, the person who sets the tempo for the team, it's going to be very difficult for a possession-centered team. Look across the world of football. Every single team that plays in that style has a player like that. Man City have Rodri. Arsenal have Partey and Jorginho. You look at Barcelona, they had Sergio Busquets. You look all around. You go back there, you look at the Juventus team with Andre Pirlo. These guys are players who can pick up the ball, set the tempo for your team. You retain possession through them. Real Madrid have Toni Kroos who does stuff for them. Man United, when you look at the composition of their midfield, they don't have a player who will be an authority in terms of that. And that becomes a problem unless Eriksen is still going to play a key role, or unless Man United is going to bring in another midfielder who can fit in that bill. So that's where my confusion is. If you have the midfield on paper, which looks like it's going to be the midfield on paper with Casemiro, Mount and Bruno Fernandes, these guys are not necessarily going to keep and dominate the ball for you. So then, what is the essence of going for a ball-playing goalkeeper? That's where my confusion is, because a ball-playing goalkeeper suggests that you want to dominate possession. And again, this is another one of my confusions. I always say this thing: coaches' principles don't change. Their tactics will change, but their principles never change. The way they view football, their philosophies hardly ever change. Jose Mourinho has changed tactics over the years, and even in a season you are bound to change tactics and player instructions, but the principles always remain the same. You look at Jurgen Klopp's team from Dortmund to Liverpool. Their high line pressing is always there. It doesn't matter whether they are playing 4-4-2 or whether they are playing 4-2-3 or 4-3-3. Those principles always remain the same. Pep Guardiola, possession football, chances creation, or with a team that is very attacking minded and are very bent on keeping the ball. Those principles have transcended from Barcelona to Bayern to Manchester City. And Erik ten Hag, if you watch him throughout his time at Ajax, even at FC20, he's had that possession style football. So you know that his principles are geared towards that style of football. And that's why I say the Onana deal makes sense, but the Mason Mount one kind of confuses me a bit, because he's not going to be able to help you dominate the ball in the middle of the park. And that is facts. If you are looking at his numbers throughout his career, he's not that sort of player. He's more of the off the ball tenacity. If you lose it, he's quick enough to win it. So when I'm looking at a player like Mount, and I'm looking at a team that if he had left Chelsea, he would have suited it, would have been a Liverpool, because that Liverpool midfield over the years with Jurgen Klopp thrives on players like that. I'm just kind of confused how exactly he's going to fit into that Man United midfield in the way we think Ten Hag wants to play, unless Ten Hag has a trick up his sleeve, and that will perfectly explain it. But that's just my 2 cents on it. I think Mount will be a serious asset off the ball, but on the ball, in terms of if Man United wants to increase their chances of dominating possession and have more control of the game, it's a bit confusing, that transfer. But in terms of Onana, that is basically the perfect goalkeeper you can want, or you can go for, if you are talking about a player who can dominate the ball from the off. Let me hear your opinions, or let me read your opinions in the comment section. And again, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and share the content